So next we have a presentation from ENRG Elements with the ticker code EEL, a company focused on the exploration of the Agadez Uranium Project in Niger and the Ghanzi West Copper Project in the Kalahari Copper Belt in Botswana. So to tell us more, I will hand you over to the Managing Director, Caroline Keats.
Thank you so much for inviting me and being able to present about our project. Thank you. I'm Caroline Keats. As Jane's indicated, I am the Managing Director and CEO of ENRG Elements. ENRG Elements, we're an ASX listed, we're African-focused exploration company. We have uranium assets in the uranium-rich Mersoi Basin in Niger, and we also have copper assets in the Kalahari Copper Belt in Botswana. Over the last 12 months or so, it's been an incredibly important time for the company. As a board, what we've done is we've refocused our efforts. We wanted to be part of an industry that supported clean energy and decarbonisation. In line with this, we changed the company's name from Core Metals, which meant copper in Botswanian, to ENRG Elements, which more appropriately reflects our new direction. Earlier this year in May, we acquired the Agadez Uranium Project, which is located in Niger. And shortly after that, we also then updated a historical resource at Agadez so that now it is compliant with JORC 2012. We also undertook exploration at both our Niger project and our Botswana assets. And last week, we then closed out with defining an exploration target in relation to Agadez. It was a really important time for us because it basically set forth the path that we want to take in order to develop these assets. So for everybody, as I said, as we're looking at moving towards that clean energy space, we've done a lot of work on the ground. For everybody, energy costs, we've got energy security, we've got decarbonisation, which is high on everyone's agenda. We believe that our uranium and copper assets, which are located in mining-friendly jurisdictions, are really going to be on point, with uranium important as part of the supply of low-cost, reliable, carbon-free power. And we know that copper is going to play an important role as we move towards the electrification, supported by renewable and clean energy sources. Our market cap as a company has moved over the course of the year. Right now, it's sitting at around $22 million. We have undertaken a lot of work. I'm joined on the board by James Eggins and Quinton de Klerk, who have distinguished careers in the mining sector. James Eggins has been involved in the industry since he started at Narvalek. He moved on to manage marketing at Olympic Dam. He then worked at Paladin, which is where I also met him. And he sat on the board of the World Nuclear Association and also the Copper Development Centre. Quinton de Klerk is a mining engineer. He's a mining engineer and operates as a principal at Cube Consulting. He essentially converts resources to reserves. My background, I commenced my career as a lawyer. I moved in-house, took on senior legal, corporate services, commercial roles. And in 2019, I was appointed the Managing Director of Tiger Resources, which is a copper producing company in the DRC. I've spent a lot of time, in fact, a lot of our directors have spent time operating in Africa. I've spent a lot of time in Malawi, Namibia, DRC, Cameroon, South Africa, and now also Niger. Less time in Botswana, but as we get more work done on the ground in Botswana and as we develop those assets, we'll be spending more time in that jurisdiction. Earlier this year, we did a raising, and a really important party came on board as a cornerstone investor, and that was Kevin Bambra. And Kevin Bambra has been a real promoter of the uranium sector. He was the president of Sprott. And he has really supported the project and helped us access the North American markets. Our flagship project is our Agadez project. It is located, as I said, in the Mersoi Basin, which is surrounded by companies that have operating mines and also significant deposits. Our Agadez project has a shallow inferred mineral resource of 16.5 million tonnes. It has a grade of 295 parts per million for 10.7 million pounds of U3O8 equivalent. We like these assets, and when we looked at acquiring them, we considered three factors as being incredibly important. Firstly, the fact that it's located in a region that is well known for the production of uranium. It has the same geology as the Orano mines that have been operating and producing in the region for around 50 years, and also has similar geology to the significant deposits that are held by Global Atomic, who is listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and also as GoviEx, who are listed on the Venture Exchange. Our tenements are sitting on the bottom left in the green, and they represent 726 kilometres squared. We also have an application in that we're ready to be granted to us, and that's the Ekazan application, which is in the red block. The other reason why we like these assets is because there's been a lot of work that's already been done on the ground. Before we even acquired these assets, there was 24,000 metres of drilling already done. It started with the French government, who undertook a drilling campaign. They undertook radiometric studies, and they identified it as an area of interest. In 2007, NGM Resources, an Australian listed company, acquired these assets. They did 9,500 metres of drilling on the tenements that we now hold. And in 2010, they announced a shallow inferred mineral resource, albeit under JORC 2004. Paladin Energy then acquired these assets in 2010. They did 6,500 metres of drilling, and their drilling program essentially confirmed that there was mineralisation at depth similar to the deposits that are held to the north of the company. So that was really important. Unfortunately, following Fukushima, Paladin then handed back the tenements. Unfortunate for Paladin, fortunate for us. They handed back those tenements back to the government at a point in time when uranium prices were sub $20 a pound. We acquired these assets from Endeavour Financial, who acquired them off the government in 2017. So we finished that acquisition in May this year. And earlier, prior to the acquisition, we also acquired historical exploration data on those tenements from Paladin. And that's basically allowed us to get on the ground and avoid having to spend a lot of time, effort, and money redoing work that has already been done. This historical work has also been a fantastic platform for us to springboard off our own exploration efforts. The other reason why we like these assets is because Niger is a strong jurisdiction for uranium. It's consistently been one of the significant producers and largest producers of uranium globally. And as I've previously said, Niger has been producing uranium for at least 50 years. We have strong government support. Government are particularly interested in encouraging foreign investment. In fact, we're working with government in Niger in order to identify other pieces of strategic land that might be of interest to us. The country has a strong uranium mining culture. You've got trained workforce in the region, and you also have the relevant infrastructure. One of the other things that ticks the boxes for us is the fact that Global Atomic and GoviEx have been operating in the region, as well as Orano, but the Toronto listed entities, the fact that they've been operating over there for a significant period of time, they're on the point of development. In fact, Global Atomic have had 800 people on site most recently in order to do a blast, in order to commence their underground mine work. So that's been really important for us. Last week, it was really important for us as we defined our exploration target. We were able to identify the exploration target based on the historical work that's been done, our understanding of mineralisation across the tenements, and also because of our understanding of the regional geology. So the exploration target that's been defined is now between 90 to 130 million pounds of U3O8. We're looking for a grade of between 300 and 400 parts per million. and we're looking at an average mineralisation thickness of between 2 and 5 metres. In addition to that, we've also identified a drill program which will be implemented in stages, and that drill program comprises 20,000 metres of drilling for around 379 holes with an average depth of 50 metres. This program is really here to test our exploration target. The objective is to further expand upon our resource at Tarkadit, and also to identify new areas of mineralisation across our tenements. Shortly after our acquisition, what we also did was we went on the ground and started drilling. We wanted to start doing work as soon as possible. We've aggressively pursued these work on the ground and understanding these assets. We did 11 weeks for a drilling program of 5,500 metres. The drilling program focused in and around that resource at Tarkadit, and our initial results have been really encouraging. We saw mineralisation from surface to a depth of around 40 metres, and mineralisation remains open in multiple directions. The highest grades that we saw came from 3 holes that were located within the Tarkadit centre, and the grades were between 1,100 to about 2,200 parts per million. And the intersections were around 2 metres. We're currently waiting on the assay results from the diamond core from that exploration program. We'll look to receive them by the end of this year and update that Tarkadit resource in Q1 next year. We're also waiting on the soil sampling program assays, which we will receive by the end of this year and also release to the market as soon as we've got that and had the opportunity to review it. So we've still got quite a bit of news flow coming from Tarkadit and our most recent drilling program. So that was essentially the drilling program, but I won't go into any further details about that. I'd want to talk to you about our Botswana tenement. So we have a number of tenements that are located in the Kalahari Copper Belt, which is a really exciting region right now. Our tenements comprise 6 exploration licenses. They cover an area of around 2,600 kilometres. They sit along strike from Sandfire's Matheo mine, and they're also in the same region as Cobra's Ngami Copper Project. We've recently completed an airborne electromagnetic and gravity survey over the Kara Dome, which comprises part of the tenement area that we hold, and we're waiting on the results of the interp and the lithological study. Once we've received those results, which we should receive in the next couple of weeks, then we will look to announce to the market the results of that survey. And also from that, we'll be able to identify our a drilling program, an exploration program on the ground in Botswana. We're really happy to be operating in Botswana. It's a mining-friendly jurisdiction, and once again, government are really encouraging of foreign investment and spending money on the ground and developing assets in the region. So we're happy to be in that jurisdiction. So we're kind of lucky. We've got 2 assets working in world-class jurisdictions for the commodities that we're looking to produce. I think I've talked mostly about what we will be looking to achieve in the near future, the soil sampling program, the drill results from Tarkadit, which will follow up with a resource update in Q1 next year. We'll be looking at strategically increasing land holdings at both Agadez and, in Niger and potentially also in Botswana, subject to our further discussions with government. And we will look to implement exploration in 2023 and start the drilling campaign next year at Agadez and potentially also at Ghanzi West. So ENRG Elements we're a company that we are really focused, and we've taken a very aggressive path in order to try and develop our assets. We are looking to create shareholder value by making strategic and optimal decisions in regards to our assets. Right now, we're an early stage explorer, but we believe that there's significant potential for upside. We have the right assets, we're operating in the right jurisdiction, we have a strong team that is developing these assets, supported by a technical group of guys and girls who have the right experience for operating in the right commodities and in the jurisdictions that they're operating as well. And certainly considering where we're looking at with regards to moving into a period of time where clean energy and the production of and moving towards the electrification of renewable energy systems, both our uranium and copper projects are both on point. And we look to be part of that pipeline of production for those assets and for those commodities moving forward. Thanks, Jane. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you for the great presentation. Caroline, we've run a little bit over, but I'll quickly jump into one question. So although we've recently defined a significant exploration target at Agadez, is there the potential to further expand on the land holding at the project?
We're always going to be looking for areas in Niger and Botswana and potentially in other places that is going to create value for shareholders. Right now, we've got the application for Ekazan in Niger, and we're talking to government with regards to other areas that might be of interest to the company.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for the great presentation, and a copy of today's recording will be available online in the coming days. But thanks for that, Caroline.